I would say I was in a church, mainstream church, and I was part of the people that founded the dance ministry within the church. Then when I started to become myself, I think I did take a year out to seek the Lord about a possible partner and, be like a good Christian. But then when that period was over, the person that I met and I resonated and connected with happened to be a woman. And that was such a hassle in church and within the group. So they set up sort of like, what do you call them? These meetings that they set up to tell people an intervention. And what was said to me was I either conform, which was leave my girlfriend, or I stop serving in the capacity that I was serving. And the exact terms that were used were, because I had become such a sinner, then they could not be unequally yoked with a sinner such as I. That was actually the verse that was quoted when I was being told. Also just being told that as much as we say you can no longer serve, you can still come to church for, the Lord to work, to keep seeking the Lord so that you can change your evil ways and things like those. And in my journey of discovery, I think that was the hardest part for me, because they were literally my family. So being ousted like that in, the family of God, I had to seek God for myself now. What CSE has allowed me to have as an affirming space is an opportunity to seek God for myself, an opportunity to fellowship with people that are like me, and also an opportunity to ask the questions that I needed to ask that would allow me a deeper understanding of the divine and would allow me to see myself as part of the divine creation that is beautiful and awesome in this world and that has a purpose to give that kind of care and nurturing to people.
First of all, venye mi naweza nikasema nikienda kanisani sipendi kujulikana, kwa sababu nisha witness my friends wakifukuzwa church ama wanasimamishwa kwa mbele ya watu, then wanaanza kuambiwa wanafanya mambo kinyume na Bible. Pangu venye nime experience sitakagi ku come out na kwenye naendaga church. Nime come out hapa ndio hapa hivi nikikuja ni safe space, unaona. For example, kama huko nje nikienda niudi watu wajue venye niko, mabishe zangu wengine wamefukuzwa kwa church. Nasitaki kufukuzwa church.
I was born in a very religious family, so when I came out, instances of violence were quite a number. I should mention I was actually outed, but that's a story for another day. So my parents have tried every way to my parents, relatives, siblings, and even colleagues have tried every way possible to pray the gay away, to blackmail me, try to make it their story, speak about it more than I do, and out me even to more spaces. And most of the violence I have experienced when it comes to religious spaces has been emotional violence, and it has taken a toll on me in one way or the other. CSE has been like a home away from home. So when I was outed and I was taken through a form of conversion therapy, I managed to leave home and got a job at some town a bit far from home. And I learned about CSE through the internet. And I remember I asked a friend to bring me because I was quite new in town, and they brought me all the way, brought me to them, and they told me, church is not my sin, but please go in and see what you find out there. That was more than 5 years ago, and as I still come. And for me, I am a very religious person, and embracing radical religion has been something personal for me. So it's having the balance of religion, sexuality, and gender has something that I was yearning for, and I got that in CSC, and I managed to even go through theology that affirms me as who I am, and it has been enlightening. It's like coming out for fresh air.
Well, to me personally, I can say discrimination as a trans woman, it has been a challenge, especially to a church. They tend to chase us out because we are different from the rest. They tell us to be straight and everything. They judge us actually, and they try to destroy our names. Yeah, I can say that since I was in a praise and worship team, so when people are around, they gossip and everything. So I had to back out and find a safe space where I can get accepted. Yeah. CSC has supported me in so many ways. It has given me shelter ever since I was chased out from home. It has become a safe space where I can come and fellowship. I come and get the good news. I also come and spread the word of God. It has also helped me in utilizing my talent in terms of ushering and praise and worship, and also mentorship programs.
When you talk of violence in religious spaces as a queer person, it doesn't mean it has to be physical. There are some words that they say that generally when you hear about them, it's like they are targeting you spiritually and psychologically. So with the reading of the Genesis 19 that was rampant since 2013 when Ugandan gay bill was signed, has been really targeting a lot of queer people. But now, this personally, I feel they have pointed it out, like for me, not to occupy spaces that are needed for me to occupy as a person first and as a queer person second, because they feel every time I step into the spaces, it's going to be dirty, I'm going to recruit people, and I'm going to turn other people against the church. Just like the way they say the Sodom was destroyed because of homosexuality. So they believe that their churches will be destroyed anytime a queer person steps in. At Cosmopolitan, I am the senior pastor, and I associate with other faith persons of queer people of faith, and we thought it wise that this space could be a good space for queer people who have been pushed to the margin in other religious spaces to come and experience themselves and find their identity as people of God.